Warriors fans, let's talk. Because what's happening in San Francisco goes far beyond rumors and contracts. These are two moves that show how much this franchise still believes in the present, and at the same time, plans for the future. On one hand, Brazilian pride. Gui Santos re-signing with the Golden State Warriors, showing that hard work, patience, and trust still have a place in the modern NBA. On the other hand, rumors of a potential trade that could change everything. Nikola Vucevic might be heading to the Bay Area in a move that would make the Warriors even stronger in the fight for another championship. So before we continue, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Because here, we live every detail of this legendary franchise, from behind-the-scenes moves to potential trades, from stories of perseverance to the big moments on the court. If you're a Warriors fan, this is your place. Because together, we follow every chapter of this new era, and you can bet there's a lot coming in San Francisco. Now, let's get to the first news. News 1*. Let's start with the first news of the day, straight from San Francisco. Because a Brazilian player has been confirmed for another NBA season. Warriors fans, let's talk. While many people are talking about big trades, new contracts, and stars switching teams, Golden State made a move that might seem simple but says a lot about this franchise's philosophy. Keeping Gui Santos. Yes, the Brazilian player will remain with the Warriors for the 2025-26 season. The 22-year-old forward had his team option exercised by Golden State, a contract that guarantees another year in the blue and gold, with a considerable salary increase. He earned $1.02 million in his rookie season, $1.89 million the following year, and now $2.22 million for 2025-26. More than double his initial salary, a recognition of the work and growth of a young player developing within Steve Kerr's system. In an interview with Lance, Gui was straightforward. It was a smooth process, no headaches. I have a lot of affection for franchise, and they have the same for me. A simple statement, but it shows how much Gui Santos understands what it means to be a Warrior. Gui is the kind of player who doesn't need to dominate the ball to impact the game. He defends well, moves smartly without the ball, and has improved greatly in mid and long-range shooting. Last season, he had good performances in limited minutes, even starting some games, showing maturity and tactical awareness. Two essential pillars in Steve Kerr's system. Currently, Gui is projected to be the first option off the bench behind Andrew Wiggins, potentially sharing minutes with Jonathan Kuminga in more physical lineups. The Warriors' wing rotation is expected to feature Wiggins as the starter, Kuminga alternating positions, and Gui Santos as an energy and defensive piece. A trio that gives Golden State speed and versatility, something that was missing at times last season. In addition to keeping Gui, the Warriors strengthened the roster with Al Horford, Seth Curry, and the return of Melton, Kuminga, and Gary Payton II. A quiet but solid offseason, and, according to Gui himself, one of the team's best in recent years. The front office already had the names in mind. They moved the pieces the way they needed to, and the end result was excellent. Speaking of Brazil and the NBA, check out this interesting coincidence. Besides Gui on the court, Thiago Splitter will now be part of the Portland Trail Blazers coaching staff. In other words, Brazilian basketball will be doubly represented next season, one on the floor and one on the bench. Gui Santos is proof that Brazilian talent can thrive at the highest level when there is hard work, humility, and mutual trust between player and franchise. More than a re-signing, this is a story of growth and merit. And for Warriors fans, it's worth keeping an eye on him, because the kid from Brazil still has a lot to show at the Chase Center. And that was the first news of the day. Gui Santos confirmed with the Warriors for another season. Now, let's move on to the next. News 2. And here's another story involving the Golden State Warriors. This time, a potential move that's getting a lot of attention in the NBA. Rumors indicate that the San Francisco team could be preparing a bold trade. Jonathan Kuminga heading to the Chicago Bulls, and Nikola Vucevic arriving to strengthen the Warriors' frontcourt. Yes, this deal isn't official yet, but it's already stirring the league's back channels and leaving fans and analysts divided. On one side, Golden State is seeking experience and strength in the paint. On the other, Chicago is looking to the future, wanting youth, flexibility, and a fresh direction after seasons marked by inconsistency. The scenario would look something like this. The Warriors would send Jonathan Kuminga, possibly along with Moses Moody or Buddy Hield, in exchange for Nikola Vucevic, the 33-year-old Montenegrin center, one of the last big names available for a team still dreaming of competing at the top of the West. Depending on the adjustments, draft picks or smaller pieces could be included to balance salaries and roster composition. But the point is clear. This trade makes sense for both sides. For the Golden State Warriors, Vucevic's arrival would address something the team has lacked for years: consistent presence in the paint. He's a modern center, capable of scoring in the post, but also spacing the floor with three-point shooting. Last season, he averaged a double-double with over 40% from three-point range. Imagine the impact of that playing alongside Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. With Vucevic on the floor, Golden State's offense would become even more unpredictable. Curry would have more space to drive. Butler could operate with greater offensive freedom. And Al Horford, already nearing 40, could enjoy more rest without compromising the rotation. It's the kind of adjustment that could extend the Warriors' championship window. Now, for the Chicago Bulls, the logic is completely different, but equally interesting. The Illinois franchise has lived in the middle of the Eastern Conference. Not good enough to compete at the top, not bad enough to fully rebuild. With Vucevic potentially leaving, the Bulls would open up salary space and acquire Jonathan Kuminga, a 23-year-old wing, athletic, explosive, and with untapped potential. Kuminga is the kind of player who needs minutes and a starring role, something easier to find in Chicago than under Steve Kerr's system. For the Bulls, it's a chance to reset the roster, build around young players, and prepare the foundation for the future. But what about Vucevic himself? A trade to Golden State would be the perfect scenario. After years of being underrated on middling teams, he would finally have the chance to compete for a real title, surrounded by experienced veterans and a tactical system that values ball movement. The Warriors' already fluid and creative offense would gain a center with refined touch, court vision, and excellent passing from the high post. He's the type of player who fits the Warriors' basketball philosophy. Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Al Horford form the veteran core that still sets the team's pace. With Vucevic, this trio would gain balance. Curry and Butler could attack the rim more freely, while Horford would be rested, preserving energy for the playoffs. Defensively, Vucevic isn't an elite rim protector, but his physical presence and solid positioning would help cover interior weaknesses, especially against heavy teams like Denver and Minnesota. On paper, the trade makes sense. Golden State solves a long-standing frontcourt need. Chicago gains youth and open space for a new cycle. And in the middle of it, both teams remain true to their identity. The Warriors chasing the present, the Bulls building for tomorrow. But the real impact of this trade goes beyond stats. If it happens, the Golden State Warriors would make it clear they're all in, willing to do whatever it takes to compete for another title, while the Curry-Butler era still has gas in the tank. It would be a final push move, a reminder that this franchise, even as time passes, still believes in one more run for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. For the Chicago Bulls, it would mark the beginning of a new chapter. Trading Vucevic now is a bet on rebuilding, creating room for new talent, and possibly preparing the ground for future stars. It's not a step back, it's a change of direction. In the end, this potential trade is a rare case of a deal that could benefit both sides. Golden State would gain immediate impact, an elite shooting center with experience and hunger for victory. Chicago would gain time, space, and growth potential. On one side, the urgency of a legendary team trying to extend its golden era. On the other, the patience of a franchise that wants to restart the right way. And if you look closely, you realize this trade symbolizes much more than a simple negotiation. It's the meeting of two distinct NBA moments. The glorious past of a dynasty trying to hold on, and the future beginning to emerge in the hands of young players like Jonathan Kuminga. So, Warriors fans, here's the question. Would you trade Kuminga's future for the chance at a new title now with Nikola Vucevic? Because if this rumor comes true, the Golden State Warriors could be about to take their final big step toward glory. And that's it Warriors fans, two stories that show exactly where this team is right now. On one side, Gui Santos, representing the future. The kid who earned a spot and proves that hard work is still the greatest talent there is. On the other, Nikola Vucevic, the potential addition that could change the present. A piece that would put Golden State back at the center of the championship race. Two different stories, but they intersect at the same point. The Warriors' ambition to keep fighting for greatness. So, if you believe in this project, if you want to see how far this team can go, leave a like, because it really helps the channel continue bringing content for the true Dub Nation fans. Subscribe so you don't miss future updates, because the market can still surprise us. And of course, comment below. Do you think Gui deserves more minutes in the rotation? Would you bring Vucevic if it meant giving up Kuminga? The discussion is open, and that's what makes this channel special. The passion, opinions, and love for this legendary team called the Golden State Warriors. See you in the next video. Until then, as always, go Dubs!